Welcome back, deep divers. This time we are diving deep into Those Empty Eyes by Charlie Donlea.
Oh, I loved that one.
It's a psychological thriller, really gets under your skin.
Yeah.
And we've got all our notes here ready to uncover all the layers of this twisted tale.
You know, one thing I really appreciated about Donley's work, he doesn't just deliver like a heart-pounding plot.
Right.
He really weaves in some thought-provoking commentary on, media influence and wrongful convictions and even the very nature of justice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a story that really lingers long after you've turned that last page.
And speaking of lingering, let's talk about that opening scene.
Oh, yeah.
Donlea just throws us right into this horrific family massacre.
Right into it.
And young Alex Armstrong is the only one that makes it out alive.
Wow.
Talk about a traumatic experience to start off with.
Oh, it's a gut punch, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it just immediately pulls you into the mystery and sets the
Yeah.
stage for Alex's, psychological journey.
Right.
And Donlea, he doesn't shy away from the brutal reality of the crime.
No, not at all.
But he also uses it as this springboard to explore the deep-seated trauma that really shapes her character.
It's like he just throws you into the deep end of the pool right away.
Yeah.
And then, to make matters worse,
Oh, yeah.
as if surviving a massacre wasn't enough, you've got the media that descends upon Alex like a swarm of vultures.
I know.
They practically pronounce her guilty before any investigation even begins.
And that's where Donley's social commentary really shines through, I think.
Yeah.
It's like he's holding a mirror up to our society's,
Yeah.
obsession with sensationalism and the dangerous power of media narratives.
Right. Exactly.
Think about how quickly we form opinions based on just headlines and sound bites.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like a mob mentality.
It's terrifying, really,
Yeah.
to think that your life could be turned upside down based on, public perception, especially in today's age of instant news and viral trends.
Oh,
It makes you wonder, what would happen if a story like Alex's unfolded in the era of social media?
that's a chilling thought.
Yeah.
I mean, the constant scrutiny, the online speculation,
Yeah.
the potential for misinformation to spread like wildfire,
Oh, my God.
it's enough to make you shudder.
Okay, so I've got this young woman deeply traumatized and then basically tried and convicted in the court of public opinion.
Right.
Where does the story go from there?
Well, Donlea fast forwards 10 years,
Okay.
and we find Alex working as an investigator,
Ah.
driven by this unwavering determination to uncover the truth.
Wow.
Not just about her family's murder, but also for other victims of injustice. So she's taken all that pain and channeled it into a fight for something bigger than herself.
It's interesting how he makes that time jump.
Yeah.
It really shows us how much Alex has changed. She's no longer just a victim.
Right.
She's someone who's actively seeking justice, both for herself and for others who have been wrongly accused.
Exactly. She's transformed from prey to predator, in a sense.
Oh.
Using her skills to expose the flaws in the system that failed her.
Okay.
It's really a powerful example of resilience and the human capacity for growth, even after profound trauma.
Yeah, that's what really got me hooked.
I bet.
Seeing Alex reclaim her narrative and turn her pain into purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest, this is a thriller. So
Yeah.
there's got to be more to it than just personal growth.
Of course.
Right. What about those plot twists you mentioned earlier?
Oh, believe me.
Yeah.
Donlea does not disappoint when it comes to twists and turns.
Okay.
He masterfully drops these little bombshells throughout the story. You're constantly guessing, questioning everything you thought you knew.
Give us a little taste.
Okay.
Without giving too much away, of course.
Okay, well, let's just say that the characters you think you can trust
Yeah.
might not be who they seem.
Oh, intrigue.
And the closer Alex gets to the truth, the more dangerous her quest becomes. Donlea keeps you on the edge of your seat, wondering who's pulling the strings and what secrets are still lurking in the shadows.
So we've got this compelling protagonist, a twisted mystery,
Right.
and those thought-provoking themes we talked about earlier.
Yes,
It sounds like there's a lot to unpack here.
there is.
What else can you tell us about how those themes play out in the story?
Well, one of the things Donlea does so brilliantly
Huh.
is he shows how deeply interconnected those themes really are.
Okay.
For example, the media's portrayal of Alex
Yeah.
directly influences how the justice system treats her.
Mm-hmm.
It creates this bias against her right from the start,
Oh, wow.
making it that much harder for her to clear her name.
It's like he's showing us how easily the scales of justice can be tipped
Absolutely.
and how public perception can become a powerful weapon,
Yes.
especially when fueled by the media.
And when you layer in the issue of wrongful convictions,
Yeah.
it adds another dimension to the story.
Mhm.
Alex's own experience, coupled with the cases she investigates, really forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that the justice system isn't always perfect.
Right.
It makes you wonder how many innocent people might be caught in a similar web of misinformation and prejudice.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
And I think that's what makes Those Empty Eyes such a powerful read.
Yes.
It's not just a thrilling escape, it's a story that stays with you,
It does.
prompting you to question the world around you and the systems we often take for granted.
And that's where Donlea's skill as a writer really shines through.
Yeah.
He manages to weave these complex themes into a gripping narrative without ever being preachy or heavy-handed.
He makes you think without hitting you over the head with a message,
Exactly.
which is exactly what we try to do here on the Deep Dive, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Oh,
And in that spirit, let's dive even deeper into the complexities of Those Empty Eyes.
let's do it.
We'll explore those shocking plot twists, the psychological impact of Alex's trauma, and the wider implications of Donlea's social commentary.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned because things are about to get really interesting.
I can't wait. Okay, so we left off talking about those plot twists that Donlea throws at us.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned characters we think we can trust turning out to be something else entirely.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like he really plays with our expectations.
Oh, he's a master manipulator, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Just when you think you've got a handle on who's good and who's bad,
Right.
Donlea flips the script.
Oh, wow.
It's like he's constantly challenging you to reevaluate your assumptions.
Can you give us an example?
Sure.
Without spoiling anything too major, of course.
Well, there's this one character, a seemingly helpful ally to Alex,
Okay.
who turns out to have this hidden agenda. Their motivations are shrouded in secrecy, and their actions become increasingly suspicious as the story unfolds. It's a classic case of the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right.
And Donlea reveals their true nature in a way that's both shocking and completely believable.
It sounds like he really enjoys playing mind games with his readers.
He does,
Yeah.
but it's all in service of the story.
Right.
These twists aren't just there for shock value.
Yeah.
They deepen the mystery, add layers of complexity to the characters,
Right.
and keep you guessing until the very end.
Yeah.
It's like solving a puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape.
I can imagine that must be pretty frustrating for Alex, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Constantly having to second guess everyone around her.
Yeah.
It's like she can't trust anyone, not even those who appear to be on her side.
Exactly.
Right.
And that isolation,
Yeah.
that constant sense of paranoia adds to the psychological tension of the story.
Oh, for sure.
It forces Alex to rely on her own instincts,
Right.
her own sense of justice, even when the evidence seems to point in a different direction.
Speaking of psychological tension,
Yeah.
let's go back to Alex's trauma for a moment. We talked about how that opening scene throws us right into the horror of that massacre.
Yeah.
But how does Donlea portray the long-term effects of that trauma on Alex? It must have been incredibly difficult for her to carry that weight for so many years.
He does a remarkable job of weaving those psychological elements into the narrative.
Okay.
You see it in Alex's guarded nature, her difficulty forming close relationships,
Right.
her recurring nightmares.
Wow.
But Donlea doesn't just present these symptoms.
Yeah.
He delves into the underlying causes,
Okay.
exploring how trauma can manifest in different ways.
But it's not just about the physical scars.
Right.
It's about the invisible wounds that run much deeper.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And those wounds inform Alex's actions, her motivations, her entire outlook on life.
Wow.
It's like she's constantly battling those inner demons,
Yeah.
fighting to reclaim her sense of self and find some semblance of peace.
It's incredibly powerful the way Donlea connects those psychological struggles to her determination to find the truth. It's almost like her pursuit of justice is a way for her to heal,
Yeah.
to make sense of the chaos that shattered her life.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
There's a sense that by exposing the truth, by holding those responsibles accountable,
Right.
she's not just seeking justice for her family,
Yeah.
but also for herself. It's a way to reclaim control,
Okay.
to turn her pain into something positive,
Right.
something that can help others who have suffered similar injustices.
That's what makes Alex such a compelling protagonist.
Absolutely.
She's flawed, she's vulnerable, she's
Yeah.
still grappling with the trauma of her past, but she refuses to be defined by it.
Right.
There's a strength and resilience in her that resonates with readers.
And I think that's why so many people connect with her story.
Yeah.
It's a story about overcoming adversity,
Right.
about finding your voice,
Yeah.
about fighting for what's right, even when the odds are stacked against you.
Uh-huh.
It's a message of hope and empowerment,
Right.
wrapped in a thrilling and suspenseful package.
Okay, we've talked a lot about Alex,
Yeah.
but let's circle back to those broader themes of media manipulation and the justice system.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that Donley connects these ideas in a really interesting way.
Mm-hmm.
How does he do that? What specific examples from the book come to mind?
One of the most striking examples is the way the media's portrayal of Alex directly influences how the police and the courts handle her case.
Okay.
Even though there's no concrete evidence linking her to the crime,
Right.
the constant media attention creates this presumption of guilt,
Hmm.
making it that much harder for her to be seen as a victim rather than a suspect.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Exactly.
The more the media paints her as the villain, the more people believe it.
Right.
And that bias can seep into every aspect of the investigation and the legal proceedings.
Exactly. And Donlea doesn't shy away from showing how that bias can lead to tunnel vision, where law enforcement becomes so focused on proving their initial theory that they overlook crucial evidence or dismiss alternative explanations.
So it's like they're blinded by the media's narrative,
Yes.
and they're so eager to get a conviction that they lose sight of the truth.
And that's where the theme of wrongful convictions comes in.
Okay.
Donlea uses Alex's story to highlight how easily innocent people can be caught in the gears of a flawed system,
Right.
especially when public opinion is already stacked against them.
It's a chilling reminder that justice isn't always blind,
Yeah.
and that sometimes the pursuit of a quick resolution can overshadow the search for the truth.
And in that sense, Donley's novel goes beyond the typical thriller format.
Okay.
It's not just about solving a crime.
Yeah.
It's about exposing the systemic issues that can lead to injustice
Yeah.
and challenging us to think critically about the role of the media in shaping public perception and influencing the course of justice.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
But Donley does it in a way that's both gripping and thought-provoking. He doesn't offer easy answers,
No.
but he forces us to ask some tough questions about the systems we rely on and the biases that can color our perceptions.
And in that sense, Those Empty Eyes
Mm-hmm.
is more than just a compelling thriller.
Yeah.
It's a powerful indictment of our society's often unquestioning acceptance of media narratives
Wow.
and the potential consequences of that blind faith.
So what does all of this mean for you, the listener?
Well,
Why should you care about this fictional story of a young woman caught in a web of trauma, media manipulation, and a flawed justice system?
well, on one level, it's a captivating thriller,
Yeah.
full of twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat until the very last page.
Right.
But beyond the entertainment value, there's a deeper message here.
Okay.
A message that resonates with the world we live in today.
A world where information overload is the norm,
Exactly.
where news cycles spin faster than ever before, and where forming quick judgments based on headlines and sound bites has become almost second nature?
Exactly. And in that kind of environment,
Yeah.
it's more important than ever to be discerning,
Right.
to be critical thinkers, to question what we're told, and to seek out multiple perspectives before forming our own opinion.
Because the truth, as Donley so brilliantly illustrates in Those Empty Eyes,
Yes.
is rarely as simple as it seems.
And the consequences of accepting a simplified, sensationalized narrative can be far-reaching and devastating.
Wow.
Not just for individuals,
Yeah.
but for society as a whole.
It's like he's giving us a warning almost.
Yeah.
A cautionary tale about the dangers of blindly accepting what we're told, especially when it comes from sources that profit from, sensationalism and outrage.
He definitely raises some red flags about the, erosion of trust in institutions
Right.
and the increasing polarization of public discourse.
It's like we're living in a world where everyone has a megaphone,
Yeah.
but very few people are actually listening.
And it makes it even harder to discern fact from fiction,
Mhm.
to separate genuine information from the noise and the spin.
It's exhausting, frankly,
Oh, yeah.
trying to navigate this constant barrage of opinions and agendas.
It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
But I think that's why books like Those Empty Eyes were so important.
Okay.
They provide this space for reflection,
Mhm.
a chance to step back from the chaos
Right.
and engage in some critical thinking.
It's like a mental detox,
Yeah.
a way to cleanse your palate from the junk food of the 24-hour news cycle
Exactly.
and savor something more substantial.
And in that sense, Donley's novel isn't just entertainment.
Right.
It's a tool for self-awareness,
Yeah.
a way to examine our own biases
Okay.
and how they might be influencing our perceptions of the world around us.
You mentioned earlier that you shuddered to think how Alex's story might unfold in today's world of social media.
Oh, yeah.
Let's unpack that a bit more.
Okay.
What specific aspects of the digital landscape worry you?
Well, for starters, the sheer speed at which information spreads online,
Right.
it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean, a single tweet, a viral video,
Yeah.
a misleading headline can reach millions of people in a matter of minutes,
Wow.
shaping public opinion before anyone has a chance to verify the facts.
It's like a wildfire, burning through the forest of reason before anyone can even sound the alarm.
And that's where the potential for manipulation is so worrisome.
Yeah.
I mean, algorithms can be designed to amplify certain narratives.
Right.
Echo chambers can reinforce existing biases, and deepfakes can blur the lines between reality and fabrication.
Oh, it's getting scary out there.
It is.
It's like a hall of mirrors where it's almost impossible to tell what's real and what's not.
And in that kind of environment,
Yeah.
it's even more crucial
Yeah.
to cultivate media literacy,
Okay.
to develop the skills to critically evaluate information, to identify sources of bias,
Yeah.
and to recognize the tactics of manipulation.
So it's not just about being aware of the problem. It's about equipping ourselves with the tools to navigate this complex and often treacherous digital landscape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's something Donlea's novel implicitly encourages us to do
Okay.
by showing us how easily Alex is manipulated by the media, how quickly her narrative is hijacked and distorted.
Right.
He's prompting us to be more vigilant,
Yeah.
more skeptical,
Okay.
more discerning in our own consumption of information.
It's like he's saying, don't be like Alex.
Yeah,
Don't fall for the easy answers.
right.
The sensationalized headlines, the carefully crafted narratives designed to elicit a specific emotional response.
He's challenging us to be active participants
Right.
in the formation of our own opinions,
Okay.
to dig deeper, to ask questions, to seek out diverse perspectives, and to resist the temptation to simply accept what we're told at face value.
That's a powerful message,
It is.
and one that resonates deeply with the mission of the deep dive. We're all about encouraging critical thinking, exploring multiple viewpoints,
Yes.
and empowering our listeners to become more informed and engaged citizens.
And Those Empty Eyes is a perfect example of a book that aligns with those values.
Couldn't agree more.
It's a story that will stay with you long after you finish reading it,
For sure.
prompting you to re-examine your assumptions,
Yeah.
your biases,
Okay.
and your role in shaping the world around you.
So, to wrap things up,
Yeah.
if you're looking for a thriller that will not only keep you entertained, but also make you think, make you question, and make you want to dive deeper into the issues that matter,
Yes.
then Those Empty Eyes is a must-read.
It's a story about trauma, about resilience, about the power of the media, and the complexities of the justice system.
Right.
But most importantly, it's a story about the human search for truth
Yeah.
and the responsibility we all share to be discerning, to be critical, and to be advocates for a more just and equitable world.
As always, keep diving deep, and we'll see you on our next deep dive adventure.